Tucson means two things: gorgeous desert evenings, and Arizona basketball is back. And tonight, the Arizona Wildcats,
in terms of the starters.
well, one of those new guys in the lineup, Awaka inside, will be at the 4 position.
This year, in terms of that category, starts with a bucket early on.
There's that lineup for the Golden Eagles, and look for J.C. Candlin and Isaiah Wong. Their two guards. Arizona will have a size advantage, but there's the Arizona lineup right here. And there you mentioned it, Reg. We got Dwayne Aristode now in the starting lineup. Awaka about to do the anthem.
On a big three, that's big for their program, coming into this type of atmosphere to settle down and get that first bucket.
Back out to Awaka. Interesting, Awaka this year playing a lot of 4, played a lot of 5 last year. I think back to a little more natural. Burries with the bucket.
Lineups. Coach Tommy Lloyd has a lot of flexibility. He can play big or small. Tonight, he decided to go a little bigger.
Now another outside shot there. Manager, there's Coach Tuck right there. You actually coached with him, Reg. One of his years here in Tucson as Del Orso hits that little baseline check.
Job so far at Embry-Riddle, and just having these guys playing with a lot of confidence. You see, there's no hesitation as Peter Dress knocks down the 3, and that's what he.
Now Braden Burries at the line. McDonald's weight program already hitting him, and just seems ready for Big 12 action.
Is the big Mo Crivas.
How about when they come off the bench, Arizona, and they
be so far early in the year with the practices in terms of how competitive they've been, just because they have so many qualities.
Roz was the one that got him his start as a manager at Arizona.
Yeah, you know, Jim Rosberg, a longtime assistant for Coach Lou Olson, was always kind of a connector. But Ben said, hey, this team playing well early.
Back into Crivas inside. Mo misses that short one, but able to finish. He's just
around, and it was 4 versus 1 that last possession. He was able to get the offensive rebound and put back.
And Reg, you mentioned it on the open. There's another bucket right there for Gift. And
stuff last night. He had an excellent practice with energy, and you can see he was pouring that into his guys, saying, hey, let's play with confidence. You know, let's go out there and really compete, and that's what his team.
Be a really interesting player, off to a nice start against St. Mary's 9 days ago.
Yeah, Ivan Karchikov, you know, he's talented and has a lot of potential for a freshman.
Bradley getting to the paint area, searching, Awaka in. Nice job by Matur Dahl there not to foul Awaka. And I think interesting for Arizona with Burries and Bradley. Really got 2 point guards out there and two guards. Great dish inside.
Looks at the rim for a cutting peek for the slam.
Very nice cut right there, and the dish to Dahl. That was a beautiful play when you look right there by Arizona on the run.
And this is what I like about Pete. You know, he has the ability to get the rebound, push the break, right? Create opportunities for others, and you see right there.
Outside can hit that 3, but he's got so much size, can get to the paint. Arizona back on the run, and this is where you figured Arizona would really take its toll on him.
Making all the plays down the stretch to stretch out that lead and get that W for the Cats.
Reg, you mentioned something yesterday at practice for Embry-Riddle that they need to get back on D. Great screen in Arizona history. Then the big kid, Awaka.
I mean, Awaka's right up there. Once again, another beautiful break by the kid. Finish. There's an opportunity there, and just a beautiful pass, you know, for the kick ahead.
Where Snelson went to.
He's going to win some games for Arizona this year just because they are going to need his senior leadership. And anytime a young man goes to Harvard, you got to think he's pretty intelligent. Like, I just love some of the majors they have there. You know, athletic and have an experience like tonight of playing in McHale. I mean, it's the best of both worlds for these young men.
So this one and giving Arizona a nice game.
Yeah, you know, like I said, these, you know, they have good high school careers. You know, Ben Tucker's done a nice job. You know, they feel that
he's shown us his scoring. And you mentioned this. Here's Koa Pete again. It almost feels like, other than look at Karchinkov going off the opposite foot there. Arizona 25-15. Pete again bringing it up. This is about the 4th time we've seen that. Big Tobe Awaka able to finish. Pass the ball. I thought Pete did a nice job there. Pinpoint pass into the middle.
Yeah, just took his time and delivers. Going to do it again here, it looks like. Once again, Arizona understands their advantage, and they're doing it good.
I mean, I'm being redundant. That has to be the 5th or 6th time he's taken it all the way. Shrugs off the defenders, and Arizona able to rebound. But, man, what a game to the right. Didn't let the rim protect anybody.
Great anticipation there by Awaka, but looking for honestly, you know, coming down the floor and just wrecking shop.
Get up and look ahead to Burries. Got a lot of options here. Boy, Waka off the dribble. That's something you did.
Rip with that right hand, take 2 hard dribbles and get there. You know, that's something he can do. You know, just keeping it simple, straight line drives for the finish.
Well, and that's something Gift can do.
Yeah, no,
It's 4s as opposed to 5. They had Trey Townsend last year. Just look how much bigger a Waka is as Burries gets into the lane. You know,
body at the rim, and you have a special player there, and that's why people are so excited about him.
well, one guy's Wildcats are excited about, C.D. Gay, who has just checked in.
He's dealt with some injuries, so him getting, you know, some minutes tonight in front of a crowd, showing a little bit of
His first game, this is the time to do that.
yeah, nice.
A little bit the way he's built.
Yeah, definitely a throwback to some of those Oodles and small forwards, the Richard Jeffersons, the Andre Iguodala's, you know, that great length and body.
So from the Netherlands, and you mentioned it did not play. I think that had a lot to do with him kind of finding his game and trying to knock down a 3 and right on cue.
Right on.
There you go.
Last one to leave. They really love his working attitude, and you know, when he knocks down shots like that, he's going to find more minutes.
Isaiah Wong up top in a hurry. Oh my goodness. Got up. I haven't seen him get up that high yet in 2 games, but that was an impressive miss, if you can have an impressive miss. Arizona pressure. You can feel like the pressure has kind of picked up in this last 10 minutes. Wow. Dahl again.
Yeah, Dahl at this point, but when he can get dunks and layups, that's where they need to have him.
Delhi from the free throw line. Pretty easy jump shot there. Look, made him
An excellent shooter, maybe Arizona's best shooter.
shot 41% from 3 last year. Uh-oh, Dahl again. Dahl dominating this last couple minutes. Point guard finding Dahl again, and that 1-2 punch is going to be big for Embry-Riddle. In his first time in a first half this year. Had a nice, no good there. Waka cleans up the miss. He misses. A lot of action down low. Krivas with the finish.
Look what I found.
Waka out on the perimeter playing defense. Aristode rises, yes.
Beautiful play.
The arena, and our director and producer right there showed us also that Arizona has Hollywood Row over by the Arizona bench. Nice move right there. And you know, with Waka with so much attention, all those outlets on the wing will be open. Waka, nice little putback. Waka just too much right now. Yeah, veteran guy. You know, he's in college, but he plays like a professional. Just brings it every day. Pete, nice bucket in. Pete will bring in Marchenkov. Krivas back in. Pete now playing that 4 position. He has been now he's the recipient of a bucket inside. When he was here and they had that high-low working a few years back, and probably even.
I think that Tabellus is a really nice comparison with Koa Pete. Both athletic. I think Koa Pete's a little bit more skilled, has the ability to put it down, but those high-lows were there for that first.
Money every time.
No, they do spend a lot of time in practice on the big-to-big work. Jack Murphy's got the bigs down there, and they work on the high-lows and really establishing some space.
Deep. They don't have a deep squad. They've had some injuries. Probably have 9 guys available. Pretty good crowd here tonight, Reg. This was an interesting night, actually. The locked in.
Yeah, we've seen a walk on the floor now. We've seen Krivas, and so there's really a culture and a tone here that, hey, we're going to do the dirty work.
Boy, Bragg.
I'm right there with you. I don't understand why he's not being seen in terms of a better light with some of this preseason stuff.
Krivas? Almost no. Well, you just mentioned it. Put in some guys that have not seen that action. How about Karchenkov as he throws the dime right there? Aristo doesn't convert, but Karchenkov.
And a point guard, and you want to see what that looks like and what the tape looks like.
Del Orso misses. We saw this movie in the first half, Reg. Line, you saw it right there with the footwork, 6'3", 200 out of right.
For day one to be able to run a ball club, not make mistakes, get guys the basketball where they need it. Nice move there.
Noah Gift.
And Noah Gift needs to double for his team's sake in terms of stepping up as a leader. But to go back to Bradley for a second, the one knock on him that people kind of talk is the 3-point shooter. Not that he can't shoot it, that he doesn't.
Cannellan not able to connect from deep. It's interesting, they play Wong and Cannellan together. Oh, Bradley, are you kidding me?
And that's what he's extra dangerous in.
What does Khalid and maybe Jaden do well that you can see some of the comparisons those New York are?
Tip of the spear up there. He's calm and cool, collected, doing his thing, and he just has a way of settling things down. But
there, Karchenkov, we mentioned. Aristode getting a lot of time, starting Candlin right there, baseline. Nice little move, not able to convert. Arizona on the run. Woo! Okay. Tough angle. Awaka just gobbles up that rebound. Karchenkov on the move.
Beautiful kick ahead about there also for Karchenkov. You know, historically since he's been here, and maybe at Gonzaga, always had one of the highest ranking offenses.
Karchenkov lost his man right there. Here outside of you. You want to be in front of the player at all times.
At all times. That's the big thing. For 2 free throws.
Crowd from South Point High School. Went to Harvard. I was not recruited by Harvard. I don't know if you were.
I was not.
Expanding that lead now. 73-29. Karchenkov in the corner. The fast break.
Shop run his own team, and obviously it's paid out well. Last year he was coach of the year in the GSAC, and keep in mind they came in 4th. So that shows you how much.
Up at Gonzaga, a program that, you know, I think when he started and still are a powerhouse.
A big reason they were a sleeping giant and were building something. Culture where people, players want to come here and be a part of this. You know, he will hold your feet to the fire and hold you responsible, but at the same time, he wants us to place that you want to come in. And here we got 5'7", 5'10" backcourt, and I was trying to separate them playing one at there, and he's out there now.
Interesting coaching lesson, like you said. You described it perfectly to his game, and again, playing professionally overseas, playing for a team that was
Moscow, played for some of the bigger clubs over there in Russia. You know, it's how they're rubbed off him.
Yeah,
very young
edge, but recruiting players whose fathers are good, pretty good. Put right there and right on cue, Karchenkov with the slam. Anybody?
I'm gonna say it was me.
Was it you?
Yeah.
Who's second?
Good question.
Burry's inside.
The guys that came on later. He's done such a great job. They speak so highly of his character, how he came into this situation.
I think what LeBron's done as a dad has probably equal.
You know, they seem that well-rounded kids who really understand, you know, their privilege and understand their place in the world, but they don't lay back on that. They're still hard workers. You know,
at UConn is pretty crazy early on, and you know, one of the things that stands out. I read this. I mean, you think about, and part of that's going to be, of course, Big 12 play. And you mentioned now, got to check the boxes off the court, you know, almost act as a GM. Nice little jump hook right there. You act as a GM, you got to be a scheduler. Do you remember as a freshman your big moment playing like a really big school?
My first game was Arkansas. Right? And we saw them the next year in the Final Four, and they were.
I think another thing that
environment, you have to bring it, or there's going to be, you know, next man up kind of mentality where someone just those tight minutes to get the production that he did.
Aristotle back in the lane. Nelson, South Point, Lancer knocking it down from the wing.
Yeah, beautiful move there.
Nelson he doesn't just come in to take up minutes. He can actually, right here, we're seeing a step back three, and he launches it. Bam!
And then Nelson kind of.
McHale North, Reg. You've been up there calling games up there.
Yeah, Las Vegas now, so that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it should be a great crowd, great atmosphere. 1 year. Aristotle from deep. You can see that kind of go up. Bryce James with the follow, and he again probing a lot in the second half. We've seen a lot of him trying to drive. Candlin, wow, Candlin with rise right there. Got up pretty good, not able when you shut him down.
Yeah, I mean, there's been so many iconic nights here in McHale. It's such a great venue, and that was just one of them. It was kind of the Fiesta Bowl, 1993. I think it was the Fab Four. So I was letting them know about it a little bit. And so Jalen didn't appreciate that. Gave me a little bit.
Listen to me, because you talk about, played for Lute Olson. Everyone knows about the offense.
And how easily Arizona scores and able to put a big number on the board. But, you know, Coach Lloyd is always stressing defense and toughness and physicality. And he's built teams around that, knowing.
This is Tommy's 5th year. No pressure. They're just throwing that out. But good to see it.
Just a Hall of Famer in every way. You know,
I think that's all. Coached at Hawaii, University of Hawaii. Coached at USC. Noah Gift still getting buckets.
Noah's going to be a.
He can send that video to his dad.
I'm sure LeBron will be very happy.
He's really, again, handling it well. See a couple new subs in for Arizona. That's some serious length at the 4-5.
That's some really nice bookends there.
Spin Jopmo checks in and immediately steals it. Knocks
Got an opportunity now, gets 2 points here in McHale Center.
And Addison Arnold trying to follow up. He knocks it in. Arizona's bench on fire.
And, he's still part of the program, and people just love him. He does such a great job.
Well, you mentioned the great job. These walk-ons, of course, do a great job.
Right? All this hard work's paying off. Comes up with another steal.
Jopmo absolutely cooking out here in McHale Center. Go.
Love the passing tree. We love, all the history that goes around that. I was very happy to see it. I know you are as well.
Well, the fact that when it started in the late 80s, every single player that came to Arizona,
Matt Ontic and Matt Muehlbach, Chris Mills, Brian Williams, Sean Rooks, all these great names. And I knew, Arizona was big-time basketball just seeing that game.
Told you, hey, there's a kid named Damon Stoudemire. Are you sure you still want to go to Arizona?
Yeah, Damon, don't remember, a great basketball player. He's 5'10", out of play slow, and the ability just to push the basketball. We've seen it tonight. A number of kick-aheads, the bigs running the floor, being rewarded. And when you do that, you get that up-tempo style that Tommy loves so much.
Or Jopmo and Arnold. Can Cook and Francois knock one down?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if everybody on the team can get a bucket tonight.
Nice jumper right there. Number 12 there. Francois out on the wing. There it is. Lines it up. Nice fake. Wow, he knocks it in. Let's go. And goes with the staff. You might have a staff meeting that starts with that video.
Right, and get the guys fired up.
Yeah, here we go. Jopmo just going to work. Are you kidding me?
Feel for all the players.
Yeah, it was cool that he knocked down that three. I'm pretty sure by Connor Ivey. Eagles on the break, trying to knock one in. Still playing hard. Now they're good for them.
I think they're going to get a little rest tomorrow, obviously, get some fluids back in them, but then they're going to really start prepping on Florida, and I think, tonight was mission.
Tommy Lloyd with Ben Tucker. Both guys started at, to some degree, the bottom, worked their way up, and great job by Coach Tucker. Edge for Florida. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Like I say, McHale North is going to be a great crowd, defending champion. That's how you want to start your season off.